spiritual approach to oracles and the tarot. Hi, I'm Philip Mountrose. My wife and partner, Jane Mountrose, at Awakenings Institute help people step up, open their heart to soulful coaching and healing and living their best life. In this short video, I want to explore a soulful approach to using oracles and the tarot. And did you know that that can be a powerful spiritual tool and practice using oracles and tarot? And many people like ourselves are using it for sometimes astounding results, very helpful, practical things as well, as I'll explore. Now, oracles and tarot are a little different. Tarot is a certain kind of oracle with the numbers of cards and major and minor arcanas, they're called. Major arcana is big picture cards, like I showed you, the Magician and the Fool and the Sun and the Moon, these classic images. And then there are other suits of cards, a certain number of cards in the tarot that represent the elements: air, earth, fire, water, like the playing cards that you may be familiar with too. And then oracles go a little further. They can be widely varied in theme, number of cards, images, styles, and all of them, tarot and oracles, have images, words, and an interpretation guide that can open up your intuition for very specific guidance, revealing hidden meanings and wonderful connections that are often unseen. And in this short video, I'm going to share you a reading I did on the topic, on the focus of how to have a spiritual approach with oracles and the tarot in a moment. But first, I want to share 3 powerful ways that using oracles and tarot can help you, bearing in mind that there's a wide spectrum of oracles and tarot in terms of quality and spiritual depth. On the one and the shallower spectrum might be the Cupid or teddy bear oracle tarots, and that's going to be more like a fortune cookie or maybe a superstitious experience or entertainment. And on the other end are very powerful, profound, beautiful tarot oracle decks, which can be used in versatile ways for spiritual development, for clear guidance, insight, direction, support for your journey. So let me share 3 ways that the oracles and tarot, taking a spiritual approach, can really help you. They're going to help you is getting inner guidance, powerful, beautiful inner guidance. So you start with a focus when you draw a card, and a focus I like to do daily is a question, an open question, like, how can I optimize my day? And there are many questions you can ask, but that's a good one. How can I optimize my day? So you draw a card, and the card would apply to your specific situation, yours, mine, it will be different for us, and also the big picture. So you get a specific response to what's going on today and how that relates to the big picture, the world at large, and your big picture, how you're embedded in a larger world. We all are the world at large. So that's a beautiful way of gaining wisdom, connecting the immediate current picture with the big picture. Another way, second way, that the oracles and the tarot in a spiritual approach can help you is developing your intuition, because the cards are going to have images, which can turn into stories. You can go into the images, the words, and there can be one word or a phrase or an interpretation that relates to you, and it will be different from person to person, but it will be in the moment relative to you now, in the now. So you can bypass your analytical mind for a minute, your linear mind, which you can use later. And this is a way of getting thinking outside the box. You want creative thinking? Yes, use oracles. They're going to give you a much bigger, broader view, which you then can go back and analyze and integrate afterwards. To give you an analogy to understand this intuitive development that you'll experience, we can use weightlifting. So weightlifting, you're lifting weights to develop your muscles. So you have your muscles, and by lifting the weights, you're developing your muscles as well. So you need your muscles and you develop your muscles. So too with your intuition, using the cards. using the cards, you're using your intuition, and you're also developing your intuition by drawing the cards and sitting with them. And it is something of a meditative practice as well, and takes you into a higher altered state. Third way, another way to gain spiritual growth from oracles and tarot is connecting with archetypal patterns and universal themes. And these images and things that have been with us for time immemorial, ideas like the magician, the fool, and other ones have come into our consciousness collectively and individually, and you'll connect with them, and they're very deep on an individual level and a collective level. So I have here some classic images from a tarot deck called the Magic Seer Tarot deck, and more classic ways of looking at the Fool, sometimes called the Dreamer, or the Sun card, or the Moon card. And these are classic images that have been explored, rather a morphic field developed over time. What the meaning is, as each of us individually over time put meaning into this, it gathers collectively. So it's part of our individual and collective experience. And just to show you a more contemporary view of these cards in the Light Seers Tarot deck, there's one, and that's by Chris Ann, a woman, which is nice to have a female view of it, the Fool and the Dreamer. And then the Sun card, another version of the Sun archetype, universal theme, and then the Moon card. And each of these have collective meanings, and they will become individual for you as well as you go into them. And that's an important link to connect with the individual meaning and the collective meaning, and that will give you a broader view as well. As I mentioned, I'm going to give you a reading I did of an individual card from another deck, a deck called The Sacred Destiny by Denise Linn. And we like to use these decks, my wife and partner Jane Montrose here at Awakenings Institute, our nonprofit organization. We use it individually for our own development, but we also teach this and help people individually using the cards with other powerful coaching and healing tools. And they work in very well. They're very good complement. So this specific reading, I drew a card from the Sacred Destiny deck, and the card that I drew was the Solitude card, So there's the Solitude card up close, and you can see a person rowing in a canoe by moonlight, backlit by moonlight, rowing around an island and representing solitude. So you can go into the image like I did for this meditation. I'm about to share my notes with you, and see how that will help. And the focus of the reading, again, is the topic of the video, how to have a spiritual approach with oracles in the tarot. And here's what I received. You can consider your individual space a sacred space for the reading. This can be in a meditative space or anywhere where you are alone. Being in nature is a good choice as well. The idea is just to be with you and your spirit and let the cards be an interface. It's a living medium to illuminate your mind with soulful connections during the reading. A spiritual approach to a reading is aligned with spiritual drives and purposes. This means your life purpose, deeper meaning, spiritual relationships, and big picture understanding of your life and the world at large. When you're in a pure solitary place, free of distractions, your mind and heart can open without agendas or filters. In this open-hearted space, you can find deeper meanings from your reading. Let the meaning unfold naturally, organically. It may start slowly in pieces, and then over time, from a fuller, complete picture, your understanding will take place. And a side note here is that's the way readings are often happen for me, especially more profound readings. I get a message, an aha, light bulb moments, and over the day or days, they integrate and make more and more sense and connect to my daily life, and I can understand them at a deeper level. So to finish my reading, what I processed, and I did this on Microsoft Word, I rendered it from voice to text. The last part of this interpretation of the solitary card that I drew for spiritual approach to oracles and tarot. In the process, you can free your mind to go to different places that have truth and direction that you might not be able to perceive in your everyday life with an analytical mind. It takes the filters and caps off your reality. Then you are freer to understand things in their own way. Then it becomes right for you in your situation in the now of this reading. So some final thoughts on the spiritual approach to oracles and tarot. If you take this kind of approach, your intuition is going to be heightened. You're going to have more guidance, more clarity, more connections. It can become a spiritual practice for you. You can help others with it. And of course, you can help yourself quite a bit too. And I know the idea of oracles and tarot might be a little far-fetched for some people, and it's certainly outside the mainstream now, but a growing number of people are becoming interested. And at a certain point, there will be a tipping point where this will be much more accepted by the mainstream. In the meantime, we all have the opportunity to use these tips of gaining inner wisdom, to develop your intuition, to connect with the archetypal patterns and universal themes by using the right oracle and tarot decks for your spiritual development to help yourself and others.